What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I am Rachel. My husband and I travel full-time in our 18-foot camper right here behind me. We renovated the whole thing and we've been traveling for a little over 4 months at this point. A month into our journey, I made a video giving our honest review of full-time RV life so far. We talked a lot about what we loved, what we didn't love, the realities of full-time RV living, pretty much just what we had discovered just 30 days into this journey. It is now October. We've been on the road since the end of May, and I wanted to make a video that's a little bit different, telling you guys just some of the weird things that, to be honest, suck about RV life. I want to preface this by saying this is just our experience. We live in a smaller rig. Again, it's only 18.5 feet long. Some of these things might not apply if you have a newer, larger, fancier RV, but we don't have that. These are not going to be things that are obvious downsides of living in an RV. I'm trying to think of some more obscure things that maybe not everybody would know about. So here we go. Number 1, making the bed. I hate making the bed in our camper. Even though our setup makes it easy to access both sides, it's still just a pain in a small space. I'm constantly trying to get under the mattress in the back and crawling around, and it's just not fun. And I know there are some products out there that aim to make it a little bit easier to make the bed in a small space. We don't have those products. We just have old-fashioned sheets. And I try to make the bed every single day because when you're living in such a small space, having the bed made just makes you feel a little more put together, a little more clean, and it's just one of the things that I really don't like about RV life. Number 2 is adjusting to different climates quickly. And I think this is something that you maybe wouldn't think about, but I'm gonna be honest, it kind of sucks. For example, a month ago, we were in Colorado where it is super, super dry. 3 days later, we were in Minnesota, back in the Midwest, where it's super muggy and it rained a lot and it was very wet all the time. And adjusting to not only different temperatures and having different clothes, but also just having your body adjust to different climates. I don't know, it has an effect on me. It has an effect on my skin, my hair, my sleep schedule, all of that. And we move around a lot, so we are constantly adapting to different climates and temperatures. I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining about the fact that we get to go to different places all the time, but constantly adjusting to the temperature changes and the climate changes is tough. Number 3 is something that Cole wanted to make sure I got in this video, and that is being limited on where we can go because of the way that we're traveling, because we're traveling in an RV. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. So, for example, we recently did a scenic road through the mountains. There were various stops along the way that are really popular stops that we couldn't stop at because of our size. Because we were towing a trailer, the parking lots at these stops don't accommodate RVs, they don't accommodate trailers. And this is a small rig, but combined with our truck, we're pretty long, so it just limits you on what you can and can't do. The other day, we were in a small little town in New England, and the roads were very narrow, and there was nowhere to turn around, and we ended up in a really bad situation where we had to back out of this dirt road into someone's driveway just to try to turn around. Even though, you have your home with you and that allows you to travel a lot of places, it does limit you in terms of accessibility in some of those places. And it can get you into some really stressful situations very quickly. And if you're saying to yourself, well, why don't you just go do those things when you don't have the trailer attached? Yeah, we try to, but that's just not always an option. Another thing that isn't great about RV life, water is the enemy for RVers. If you're camping somewhere and it's raining all the time and it's super humid and there's moisture all over the place, it stresses me out because getting water in the camper can be detrimental. That's how mold grows. These RVs, they're not made to live in full time, so maybe there's a leak that you don't know about and water is slowly seeping in if you're in a place where it's raining for 4 days straight. We just had that experience where it was raining off and on for a stretch of several days, and the whole time I'm just thinking is water getting into the camper? Is everything okay? And we have a little mini dehumidifier, but it's just not enough. And some people have said, well, get a bigger dehumidifier. I don't want to carry something massive around with us. That's the whole point of living this way, is to have less stuff. but sometimes you have to buy more stuff in order to fix some of the issues that come along with RV life, and water in the camper is one of them. Condensation inside the camper. That's something that we've been dealing with a lot as it's getting colder outside. So we try to keep it warm inside the camper, but it's cold outside. Condensation builds up on the windows. It's just another way that water sneaks into your rig. Okay, I think that was number 4. Moving on to number 5 and keeping the conversation on water. One of the things that sucks about living in an RV is access to hot water. Getting water in our fresh water tank is not a problem. There's free water everywhere. We often stay in places that have water hookups. Getting water in general is not a problem, but hot water is more difficult because we do not have a tankless water heater. We have to manually light our hot water heater, and we just don't. We just don't do that very often. I wash my face with cold water. I wash my hands with cold water. I'm usually doing the dishes with cold water. I don't love it. I don't even realize how much it sucks till we go someplace that has running hot water and I actually get to wash my face with hot water for the first time in forever. Also, because we don't light our hot water heater very often, the few times that we have had to shower in the camper, it's with like room temperature water, which isn't pleasant. The 6th thing that kind of sucks about living in an RV is cleaning. Because it gets so messy in such a small space very, very quickly. You have to constantly clean, but it often feels pointless because 2 seconds later, it's a mess again because it's such a small space. Everything happens in this tiny little space. So there's just dirt and dog hair and dirty dishes and everything, dirty clothes, all in one tiny little space, and you have to clean it knowing that like an hour later it's going to be a mess again. And the final thing that I'm going to touch on that sucks about living in an RV is explaining to people that you're not on vacation. It's not a full-time vacation. Travel and vacation are 2 completely different things, and I think that's the misconception that bothers me the most is people constantly thinking that we have tons of free time to just explore all day. I'm sure there are people out there who just take time off to travel and, explore every single day. That is not how we are doing this. And that's not how most people do full-time RV living. Most people are working. For example, Cole works like a standard 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And during the summer, when he would get off of work at 5:30, we would go do things. But now that it's getting darker much earlier, we really can't. So the only time that we can do anything is super early in the morning or on weekends. It's not a kind of living that most people really understand. We didn't understand it until we started doing it. I don't think you realize how much work it is to live this way until you do it. We have no plans to do this forever, but we are continuing for the time being. So I do want to point out that there are so many wonderful things about this style of living and things that you probably wouldn't necessarily think about, right? Like the obvious ones are you get to see so many beautiful places, but there are other things too that we didn't even realize until we started doing this. So I'm going to do another video next week telling you some of the weird, awesome things about RV life that you wouldn't necessarily know about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I like sharing the real side of RV life. I never want to sugarcoat this kind of lifestyle for anybody. There are highs and lows, just like there are in regular life. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We have 2 new videos every week, Mondays and Fridays. Thanks so much for watching this video, you guys, and we will see you in the next one.